The house as it existed was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, and we're going to become a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home. We said we're going to go high-end in the living space and really invest in that, and then have very simple space for the bedrooms. Our floors in the living space are reclaimed wood floors that came out of a factory in Tennessee. The factory itself was just recently dismantled. It was about 150 years old. The wood for it was probably 300 years old at the time it was cut 150 years ago. So this could be 400, 500-year-old pine. So we're going to have plywood floors in the bedrooms. We went with Marvin Windows, and we were really happy to hear that some of the wood they source is from well-managed forests.
The Marvin Company has been building windows since the early 1940s, and Marvin has always been committed to not only building a product that is very energy smart by using insulated glass. They've come out with more innovations than any other company in the window and door industry. But Marvin is also all Energy Star throughout their product line. The Energy Star program being a federal program that sets levels to how the products you use in your home overall reduce the amount of energy used. And in terms of being environmental, only like 5% of what Marvin uses in total raw materials to build windows is actually given off as waste. Everything else is completely reclaimed or reused. Marvin only makes wood windows. The reason why they didn't want to use any other materials, they want to use a vinyl product or something like that, is because of the dioxins that are released into the environment through it. The Marvin products have a great deal of architectural detail. They use a lot more wood in their products in order to maintain that architectural detail, and it was something that really attracted them to the Marvin products.
Just like any other building project, you can go low end or you can go high end. And that if you reuse a lot of materials and you're very smart in the way you plan the space, it doesn't necessarily have to cost more. If you want to go high end, and we're doing that on a couple of things, well, yes, there's going to be a premium, but the premium's not necessarily there because it's a green project. One of the things we're doing is being much more energy efficient.
Spray foam insulation, the big difference with that and the energy efficiency part of the spray foam is that it creates an air barrier system, a thermal envelope like we like to refer to it as, which doesn't let air infiltrate, which is where your heating and cooling big bills come into play. In a sense, you've heard people saying I heat the neighborhood or cool the neighborhood. Well, you're not losing your energy because you've got this thermal envelope to where your heating and cooling that you produce stay inside your home. Ours, we've substituted soybeans for a lot of the petroleum product that is in there. So now we are supporting 600,000 American soybean farmers across the country, and we're buying domestic. It's an American-made product. It is more expensive than conventional fiberglass insulation, but the payback is almost immediate, almost tenfold to one.
Insulation is not particularly expensive. It's a cost that we're going to recapture in no time because our electricity and gas bills are going to be quite a bit lower.
Any higher expense that we paid is really more because the material is that much better of a material, and it happens to be green. That's one of the great things about this project is you don't have to be necessarily an environmentalist. You may just want to have a really nice house. The roofing, it looks like slate, but it's a little bit different a material. It's actually made out of recycled rubber tires. And they say that there's a 50-year guarantee on it. The experts have said 50 years, this is a forever roof. This roof will last forever. It's not solely recycled rubber tires, but that's the main component. There are other materials in it that make it so that it will last the test of time.
This is a piece of hardy plank. It looks like wood once you get paint on it, but it's actually just wood chips, sawdust, embedded in concrete, even though it feels a lot more like cardboard. And it holds paint about 4 times longer than wood will, so we're not going to have to paint our houses often.
Well, we have our solar panels here that are still in the boxes, and we're getting ready to put the mounting rails up onto the roof that the solar panels will mount to. Solar energy is getting energy from the sun. It can either come in the form of heat or it can be converted to electricity. In the case with the Doliner's house, we are making domestic hot water for use in showers and laundry and such, as well as producing electricity. The cost of solar has generally come down in the years, and the price of electricity and fuels, natural gas and propane, heating oil, have all gone up. These energy sources are going to be in decline, yet the demand is in the increase. So that's going to rise prices for these commodities and make solar more and more cost effective.
Well, construction took a little bit over a year, and we've been back in the house for a little over a year. And an interesting thing about construction is things happen that are unexpected. Well, here's Bina and Birdie. It's pretty unexpected.
We wanted to reuse what we could and recycle what we could, because that's better than using virgin materials. But if we had to use virgin materials, we wanted to make sure that they were obtained in a sustainable manner. All of the trim that was removed from the house has been reused, and that's probably over 50% of all the trim around the woodwork and the baseboards. And then whatever we couldn't use because we had a little bit more window space, we matched it with FSC Certified wood that the guys cut down and made a perfect match to the old trim. So we have a piece of the old house and the new house.
Well, instead of having a traditional lawn, we decided to mix it up a little bit and go with an edible landscape.
So we decided that we were going to have a biodiversity approach. So we're doing all native species, and we're also doing everything that's grown from seeds. So the yard's going to take a few years to fill in, but we've had a lot of fun putting it together. So we have 1.1 kilowatts of solar photovoltaics on the roof, and our idea of fun on a sunny afternoon is to hang out in the backyard and watch the meter go backwards. And then we also have an 80-gallon hot water tank that's fueled by two hot water panels on the roof. We had a $7 electric bill last month, and normally at this time of year with all the air conditioning and stuff, it can be as high as $100. And the month before that it was like $20, and our gas bill has been more than 50% less. And I think that part of that is because we have more than 50% of our needs right now being met by the solar power, both for electricity and for hot water. But we also have that super efficient insulation, and we can have the air conditioning on for just a little while and turn it off, and the house stays cold for the rest of the day. The floors in the house are probably about 500 years old. They're pine, and it's really turned out to be a showpiece for us. People walk in, and we've kept them rustic and barely sanded them at all, and you can see old nails that marks in them, and there's even a key mark where some key just got ground down into the floor. Kind of looks like a warehouse, and we thought we were the only people who'd like it, but it turns out that everyone comments on them, so we're really happy about that. The solarium floor is made out of bricks that used to be the steps from the kitchen in the back that were removed. They were really nice old bricks, and after Steve worked painstakingly to chisel off all of the mortar, Terry and the guys worked to do a beautiful herringbone pattern of brick floor in the solarium. So we have a floor that is, number one, reused from materials that were already on the site, and number two, they're providing a thermal mass for some passive solar benefits in the solariums. We believe that every dollar we spend means something someplace else in the world. That drives to our environmental beliefs, it also drives to our social beliefs. And a lot of the companies that we're buying from, we know paid a fair wage to their workers. We know that they were careful in the way they extracted materials and produced materials, and we're going for a higher standard there. We all wish for a better world, and if you look at this world, almost every environmental and social issue we face has somehow passed through the hands of the private sector. And so we want to change the world, we change the way we do business. The companies that we're purchasing our materials from are companies we believe are part of a better world.